imprinting images and sounds through thousands of miles of copper cable in something we call the internet in the year 2021. Um, I'm here with a close friend of mine. We've known each other since we were young, and this is great because this feels like the culmination of like a friendship relationship when you both kind of have seen a very interesting perspective of the world, and you're both at a very similar cross point. So to be able to document, talk about, blog, and podcast, and share value and information, I'm just super excited for that. So thank you, Elliot, for making this happen and for having me here.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for your words. I guess to get started, I'll start us off with a question if you don't mind. Um, what uh, what is crypto? What is crypto? So I get people that ask me all the time, what in the heck is crypto, Elliot? Why should I give my money to crypto? Do you have any words on that?
Right, exactly. It's like, yeah, what's this Bitcoin thing? What is crypto? That's a great first question. First, I wanted to say though, thank you for the delectable treats. We had a seltzer, and we're enjoying ourselves tonight. So, crypto is at its base layer code, and the idea of the etymology of the word cryptonics or cryptography or the idea of encryption. These are all concepts that cross throughout various points in history where data information is normally actually being stored so that it's hidden. But with the future and computers and technology, what they've been able to do is create code that's not hidden for control or manipulation, but hidden to protect from viruses, control, and manipulation. So it's funny. Ancient cryptography, you think secret societies, secret messages, secret treasures, encrypting information. Maybe there's war and you have to, communicate across a long distance of land. And the information that you want to store isn't always for some evil thing. Maybe it's good. Your army needs this information. You can't risk it if your messenger gets killed and the message is found. Well, how stupid would you be if you just put all your war plans on paper to be found by the enemy? So encryption is in its base layer form used for normally protection. And here we are in 2021, and maybe we should call the show Crypto Wars because it's like Star Wars but with crypto. Which one is going to come on top? Who's going to innovate? Who's going to lag behind? Who's going to manipulate? Who's going to screw over people? And who's going to change the world? And it's a truly crypto is this double-edged sword that for the first time in human history, we can take people out of banking, out of finances, out of holding the gatekeepers, right? Holding the keys. We can put that in an encrypted format that keeps hackers and manipulators far, far away from its control. It's not that simple. It gets much deeper because now we know there are plenty of ways to manipulate the market. Okay. Obviously, it's like anything that is created, especially code. Once it's created, you don't ever forecast the problems that are going to come, viruses and hacks and things. You can never fully forecast that. And sometimes it's better just to have something exist so that you can adapt and grow with it as it goes. That being said, encryption can save the world by chaining the elite class to some accountability. but it can also chain the poor class into slavery. So this is where we're at right now with the crypto wars.
I see. I like that. I've never really. Think we'll need to.
Yeah.
I've never really heard it put that way. Most people when they talk about crypto, they want to jump straight into the technological side of it and how it's run and maintained. You never really hear the reason, like you had mentioned, why. Like, why hide or shroud in the first place? And so I thought that was really interesting, the way you brought that up, and kind of the history of like why you would need a system like this in the first place, regardless of the internet or electricity or computers. You could essentially maybe have. Do you think that maybe you could have like a blockchain system? I guess that's a great question. Is blockchain and crypto? I guess we haven't even spoke about blockchain yet, but is crypto? Um, you know, I guess I don't have a great question for it yet. You kind of already said it yourself. You know, could blockchain, which I guess is what crypto evolves into in the technological world, could the blockchain systems exist outside of a digital realm? Could you have a physical blockchain? I guess would be a great question. But so crypto is, I thought you said it could go either way. So in the past, the we would shroud information to protect it um, from the masses. But now maybe crypto can be used to shroud our systems from possible, you know, malfeasance, attacks from bad faith actors. Um, you know, go into that a little bit more, because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, let me say that the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin was actually around our senior year in high school, um, because at that time I was listening to a podcast. Some of you may have heard of this podcast. It played on the radio at that time, on AM radio, by a gentleman with the first name of Bill and the last name Hicks. That's an inside joke. If you don't know who I'm talking about, then. But they were advertising on InfoWars buying Bitcoin. And I remember hearing about it that way. And a couple years later, I heard that it was worth a lot of money from what it was. A couple more years later, I heard it was worth more money. And I had a friend that had a friend who bought some, and they apparently lost the keys. They lost the password. They lost the way to get it. This is all I knew about it. So it took 6 years and 4 times mentioned before it finally registered with me, because I'm slow to caring about money. That's always been me. I did not care anything about finances, money, monetary value, and really financial security up until 5 years ago, maybe. So, having a lot of experience of my life happen, traveling, doing many cool things, money wasn't my focus, right? So I wasn't understanding the value of money at that point in time, because I was only associating money with evil, associating money with what's wrong with the world, associating money with everything I didn't want to represent. So I didn't really have an interest in buying Bitcoin, not because I wasn't smart, not because I didn't understand it. And that's not smart. You should always try to understand new things. That's what smart people do, even if it's new and weird and not really well understood. But nonetheless, here we are. It's never too late. You're super early to start the understanding of blockchain and what it is. And the reality is that you and I were little kids, and there were people sending blocks testing things on Windows 95 before we were even aware of Bitcoin, right? Let alone everything else. So now I come and realize that why monetary success or financial success, monetary value, why um, all of these things matter. Because the only thing we actually vote with throughout our lives is money. I started to realize that because I don't vote, I never have voted, and I never will vote because I don't believe in this system that requires me to cast my lots before uh, all these other systems in a system which they own, right? This is what crypto is all about. I would vote if crypto was the blockchain was the voting pool, right? And the silliest thing is we have the technology to do this, to create a crypto blockchain uh, voting poll system, very efficient and easy. How's the audio doing? Everything's good. Um, and yet they don't do this in 2021 when we can do this. It's well known. No, they're afraid of this technology. Okay. Web 3.0, blockchain and crypto is the future, and there's no way around it. And
So take it a step
yeah,
further. Do you think that it's possible? Are we facing bad faith actors, or are we facing ignorance? Do they truly not think the way that we do and not have a vision for that kind of thing? Do they really not have a connection to the possibilities for blockchain and Bitcoin? And is it that kind of opposition that we're facing? Is it just ignorance that we're facing and it'll eventually die away? Or is it systems that are put in place and will continue long after a generation dies off? What do you think? Do you think that we're going to eventually see widespread adoption easily, or that resistance that you're talking about, do you think it'll continue?
yeah, this may be like the best title, like crypto wars. Like I think there's going to be all kinds of things because this allows certain things to be held into check in a way that they have never been able to be held into check before. And in other ways, it will bank the unbanked. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you view ultimately the systems that be and their influence on native cultures or places that really, you know. But here's the reality, back to voting. We vote with our dollars. Blockchain and crypto is your vote. When you move your monetary value in an off ramp, you get rid of that fiat, you're giving it to someone for your crypto. So think about that vote you're making. I really like the vote that you made as a miner, um, by buying your own equipment from those companies, and now you mine, and that's your vote, right? You spent your money that way, and so that's what your money brings you now. It's creating you income for a long period of time. I really think we have to think about what stores and places, we contract with, and the moment humanity realizes that, that's how we vote, that's how we change things, by how we use our money, how we can use how it's just like the pyramid. You asked about, are they against it, are they ignorant? It's the pyramid, right? It's, you got those, what are they, whatever, you let's just say you got the lizard people on top, okay, and you got blocks down with different information, and eventually, yeah, you just cross the line of ignorance. That's where most of us live in the real world around. You meet people who are enlightened, who are understanding many things, and then you meet other people who are entranced by the television and everything that it says. So it's always been that way. It probably always will be this way. But the moment we together can understand the power of money and how we allow that power to be in the control of the very people who are working, not in our best interest, then that's a great vote. So, yeah, that's what is crypto. We have more topics.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, and there's plenty to dive into there in future streams. Um, would love to talk about what the future of crypto looks like. What a society that fully adopts crypto in the future could possibly look like. What are some of the things, and all the things that come along with those conversations, like what would we as human beings do to fill our time? What are the endless possibilities for creation that we have as well? So in the crypto world, there's different tokens, coins, things like that. One of the ones that I've been hearing about on YouTube lately, and I'm always pushed things by the algorithm. We all love and know the algorithm. I personally only get my information from the algorithm because I feel it knows what's best for me. And so every morning I wake up and I look at my big YT app or my big Google, and I think I could actually. Let's see. Let's do.
Sorry.
No. This is great because we're real people and this is live. Um,
Well,
anyways, what was I saying?
algorithm.
So, yeah. So, anyways, the algorithm pushed me something about Pulse, and then lo and behold, also you had recommended a video to me about Pulse, and Pulse Chain. Off the top of my head, I can tell you a little bit about what I know. I know it's an Ethereum fork. It's going to be a hard Ethereum fork. There's a gentleman named Richard Hart who would like to change the world, and he's very benevolent, and he's a billionaire, and supposedly he's probably going to be like Iron Man if he plays out to be like he says he is. But how much can we trust billionaires? Me personally, I don't trust a billionaire about as far as I can throw him, and it doesn't look like I could throw Richard Hart very far. However, he seems really smart, and I think I'm on board. I think so. What can you tell me about? That's what I know about Pulse Chain so far. So what can you tell me about Pulse Chain and the guy behind assembling the team of its creators, Richard Hart, and how you came into that information? Could be possible gold nugget.
Silly me. Yeah, like you, probably the algorithm actually is how I found out Hex first, then kind of just put that on the back burner because I personally didn't really like the name Hex. I felt like someone was trying to put a spell on me. So, but then I later got the vibe that the guy reminded me of if I was more wealthy, I would want to be more of a philanthropist. So I just kind of got that genuine side and then did a bunch of research, and I pretty much know little to nothing other than what 10 hours of research, which would be the equivalent of probably 10 of his videos or various interviews with him. And then obviously just it was just the timing of the shenanigans on around the blockchain that he was on with BitBoy Crypto, and then it was the on with Crypto Face the other night, getting shut down at that moment, and I'm like, you know what? This is all the same stuff that happens to me. Like I get shut down. Uh, it sounds like something we should invest in. So yeah, we both put in a little bit of ETH and sacrificed.
Yeah. So for
And we
those that
investing in free speech.
that is a huge thing. Free speech is ginormous. And for those that are unaware, I guess Pulse Chain is going to be doing what's called an airdrop, and that's when new coins, or basically it's like an ICO or an initial coin offering. So when a new coin is being offered, uh, most of the time the creators of it will send them out in what's called an airdrop by sending them out to many wallets and addresses in hopes that people will start using them, in hopes that it creates value and becomes an asset that people can hold and trade. And so Pulse Chain is going to be a network itself, which plans to have be better than Ethereum, is what I'm gathering that he's promoting. Better in lower gas fees, so lower fees. Better in um, it's going to be better in the way that it has higher throughput. And so throughput is the amount of transactions that can be done in a set amount of time. And right now, Ethereum's capped out at some number I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. And Pulse Chain is claiming to double that, potentially double the throughput or the amount of transactions that can be done in an amount of time, which is honestly huge because right now I feel one of the biggest setbacks for blockchain probably is the amount of transactions that can be done on any one network. Because say we get say we get half the adoption in the world. That is a highly congested network. And it seems like it would take a lot to manage that. And so, I think that's one of the things that, you know, I'm
Dude,
in.
Ethereum gas fees are crazy. They're unacceptable. They're just not good. Okay, exactly what you're saying. You can't. It's not ready for everyone to use it. And at this point, for most people, it seems more of like an elitist thing. Like I just bought CryptoPunk NFTs for 35 ETH. Like that's where we are. So
Yeah, it's the point where like crypto's like just a way for the rich to continue showing off how wealthy they are, where unless you're in on something early, chances are until we mainstream these things and find real world uses, it's going to continue to be a highly volatile investment platform, I guess. And so Pulse Chain, can you tell me a little
yeah.
bit about how
So
they're
people have, if they want to get in finally, if you finally want your chance to get in on something early, you got like 6 days, something like that. So do more research. This is just our part of the conversation. We wrote down we were going to talk about Pulse Chain tonight. So here we are on camera for the first time, not sponsored by anybody, not promoted by anybody. Literally two dudes, a trader and a miner, a total computer nerd who knows way more than me about computer stuff. And I'm, more of like a sales guy, handyman kind of guy. And together, I think we're going to bring you guys a lot of value and content. Like back to Pulse Chain. I really feel that it's your opportunity to like try something, but before it's too late. And I think that you should have no expectation of profit from the work of others. Okay, I love that. I really do. I love that because I don't like my one Ethereum that cost me a lot of money, more than it's worth when I sent it and I sacrificed it. Um, is valueless to me because I don't want to vote for Ethereum to be the crypto that takes over the world. I just sure it's great and it's convenient and it's fun, but like you just not sustainable for gas fees that cost money. Like none of this should cost anything. That's the whole point of this. I get that nothing's free. So everything has to cost something. I understand that. But if it's going to be truly, this is the whole point of technology. This is why we are entrepreneurs and we're innovators in the technology world, because the whole point of technology has always been what can you create of value for smarter, cheaper, faster, more efficient? Cheaper, the key word. I mean, railroads are to make mass transit cheaper. Highways and semi trucks were to make mass transit cheaper. Like it's all about cheaper. Now you finally have this encrypted technology. We have the grid of thousands of millions of miles of copper wire ran all across the oceans of the world to interconnect the entire world through an entire network, a market. And now finally we can send digital encrypted currency from one place to another absolutely free ultimately. um I know it costs somebody something at some point in time, so that would be really cool to crypto. The cool thing about crypto is it will find a way to make it free. Like it, there will be a coin or a token or something that is one day created that sole purpose is to make gas fees free. And if you buy some of this coin and you hold a certain amount, you'll be rewarded a stake, and that stake covers all your fees because you bought early and you held this coin. And then later, if you're like a company and you're like, we're sending crypto to 5,000 employees every week, and there's all these fucking fees everywhere. But if you hold this coin, gas coin, now you're a company and you're getting in late in the game and you got to come into gas coin. So this is where crypto gets really interesting because someone like Richard Hart can come up with an idea, and because of the technology in this computer right here, it's all at our fingertips now. We can mine, hive, share information and data and grow and become stronger and become more efficient and become better. So even right now, in just having a chat about the value of pulse chain, what it is to sacrifice, think about this. I was trying to explain this to a friend the other day. I converted my mined Bitcoin from my nice hash wallet, and I sent it to my Binance, where I then just exchanged it for ETH. I think I did that instead of on NiceHash because the fee was a little lower or something. And so then I sent my ETH to my MetaMask. Okay. I took my MetaMask, and inside of it was able to um, sacrifice to a random address, not random, to the pulse.info address for Ethereum specifically, sacrificed one ETH. Um, and that's a big investment for me. I mean, I don't know, to sacrifice one ETH. And in hopes that that will create a vote for the future, not to expect gain and profit from others, but that we will have a system that is better, more efficient. And if let's say Pulse Chain does destroy Ethereum in many ways, or it has some real market value, um, maybe one day it will use our coin to cover its gas fees. So who knows how this all works, but or how it all plays out. Nonetheless, I will still probably buy and hold Ethereum for a moment until it's just not right anymore. And I want to talk about Cardano. I'm a big fan of Cardano. I'm going to be dropping Cardano into a liquidity pool and staking it because basically that's how you mine in the future. You stake your coins. You don't dump them on the market. You don't have to go buy mining equipment and you don't have to go pay for power. You just hold. And by holding, you get paid. And by holding, you validate the network, you support the network, and it is incredible. I do think Bitcoin should forever always only be mined. I think that that's how it was designed, and that's how it should stay. I think that if you want something different, you create it. And so that's great. All the new proof of stake networks are really something to look out for. The moment I realized this, like you were saying, in the future, will the blockchain be such a thing like it's even offline? And yes, it will, because you can technically make money. You can mine Bitcoin by hand. There's someone who did it. There's someone who mined Bitcoin. Okay. There is somebody who mined Bitcoin by hand. We need to get both of us on the screen for that. And maybe you should look at some cool charts soon too, but save this one. We need these. We need those for later. There is somebody who mined Bitcoin by hand, dude. And there's a way to do it. Ken Smith's blog. You got to show this on the screen, man. Is it on? Is you showing it? Okay. Okay, now you can mine Bitcoin. You ready for this? On a. Can you put me on the corner of the screen, or is it not that complicated? You can't, huh?
Probably easier to just show you.
Can it just go to me when I talk, or does it know? Like, does it be that smart or no?
It could eventually.
How does the audio sound?
I think it sounds pretty good.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear the whole thing, huh?
Yeah, I can hear it the whole time.
All right. Well, yeah, you can mine Bitcoin on a Super Nintendo. Okay, there's someone who modded a Super Nintendo to mine Bitcoin. Now they took it apart and only used parts of it, which was the graphics card. And it only mined like 1 Satoshi a day. But it worked. Can you show that on the screen, the thing you're looking at? Ken Schmurf's blog? Zoomed in? I don't see it on here. Oh, yeah. There. Maybe it's just delayed. I'm just watching the delay. I'll watch the live one.
So this is hand Bitcoin. We call it Hitcoin.
Hand coin.
Hand coin.
Hand miner. Well, this is where, can we go? I'm going to talk about this for a minute, and it's a little bit esoteric and off topic. But I had a realization that we are, in a way, symbolically at least, mining Bitcoin. Like, we are Bitcoin miners as humans, as the humanoid species. In a way, we are like miners. Okay, so you're born and you're given a number. It's called your social security number. And for the rest of your life, the income, the money that you create out of your free will and your exchange of value in the marketplace is taxed. And the government is literally just mining a little bit from all of us, like we're little computers. And then you go to a job. And then I started to realize people are like Bitcoin miners. Like, are you a Mac or are you a PC? Are you an ASIC miner where literally you're just a cog in the machine? You don't have any iPhoto capability as an ASIC miner. Like, you're just an ASIC miner. That's all you are. You just go to the mine every day. You chop some coal. You come home. You eat your soup. And you go to bed. You drink your 6-pack, you go to bed, Get up, go to the coal mine, come back. You're an ASIC. No one can have that life. You got to have a life full of iPhotos and iVideos, okay? And a life full of hard drive that stores valuable information. So in that esoteric symbology of the human species, we are being mined right now by our overlords. They tax our every move, and it adds up. So if I mine Bitcoin, he mines a lot of Bitcoin. What you'll know is that it adds up. It doesn't maybe seem significant amounts of money to you, but if you were just, let's just be honest. If you were any of the people who spent $5 a week on crypto, $5 a day on crypto, $20 a year on crypto, $100 a month on crypto. Whatever person you are in that, you're up at some point and you're okay. And yeah. Got any more questions? I can keep talking too. Chocolate. So yeah.
This stuff is heavy. I think what we're witnessing here is the changing of the world. We're caught smack dab in the middle of it. But we don't just witness it. We're forced to actively participate and choose a side on what's going on here. And I think a lot of the crypto stuff does seem a little dodgy. The fact that there seems to be 10,000 coins out there. What is any of that? That just seems like funny money moving around. It almost seems like a deliberate attempt at making it seem stupid, kind of like uh, the counterintelligence they did against conspiracy theorists and stuff like that by pumping out super ridiculous stuff back in the 60s, 70s, whatever. Yeah. It seems to be the same thing with the crypto. Like, I can't keep up with all these coins that come out and people winning and losing money. And it's, you know, I think I'm on board for the ones that have a case of use, right, in the real world that will bring about, call it the utopia we all look for, the heaven on earth we all look for, that we want um, to be able to gather. Like, I don't want to work. I want the machines to do it for us, you know? Tell me your thoughts, Daddy Vader.
I am your father. You know, he never said, I am your father. That's just what pulp culture made it say. Or we traveled in time and someone changed it. That's why it's crypto wars, dude. That's what I realized. That's why it's crypto wars, because it's a battle. It's a battlefield. All of these coins, exactly. Think about how it chills the whole thing. But on the flip hand, there's millions of people in the world and a lot of smart nerds that created cryptos for various reasons. And those projects either got adopted and had value in some way, shape, or form for maybe gambling. Maybe they had value for sending people in certain countries money. Maybe they were valuable because certain groups use them. Maybe they were valuable because you could store your money there. Maybe they were valuable for all kinds of the various purposes. And it seems like what we're getting at is one day, one ring to rule them all, basically. Like, who will be the one that can adapt and adopt all of these currencies? But here's the thing I'm learning. The moment a crypto is brought onto the exchanges, it's now attached in value to other coins. And that's why they move so closely together, because their liquidity pools become shared in different ways. This guy turned Doge and staked it and wrapped BTC, and there's so many things you can do once you start playing with crypto wallets and what you can do. It's not just even about buy and hold. Like, once you realize what you're holding and what it can do is very, very eye-opening. Because how do you hold your USD fiat money today? What do you do with it? Um, do you invest it? Do you buy silver and gold with it? Do you just move it all into crypto? Do you have a business? Do you have capital? Of course, you gotta, and that's just it. Rich people normally have a lot of USD. I would say like every wealthy person in the world has USD.
I would say they wouldn't
Even
even have USD physically, but essentially the digital coin version, right? They have numbers on an internet account that says they have that much in USD. Like they actually, the crypto doesn't
Well,
seem that
first
far
world,
off from our current system, right?
yeah, first
Because
world people, but the third world is more what I'm thinking of, like multimillionaires in the third world, even. Like, obviously, the first world has digital bank accounts and they don't really hold cash, but they're holding USD. And then for the third world, I would say that the wealthiest of the wealthiest, at some maybe 1% of their money, 10% of their money, or 50% of their money, or 100% of their money is in USD cash. Like Saudi Arabian princes and Mexican drug lords, and from
yeah,
everybody to everybody, they're
yeah,
holding USD cash. And so one way that it's uh interesting, the narrative for crypto, is the moment you KYC, know your customer, who they are, and how they're on ramping the money. Like, I mean, I guess that's what got Bitcoin and things so popular. Criminals tend to use and adapt new innovative technologies first. So, criminal networks who are sitting on stacks of fiat cash find a guy who knows how to buy this thing called Bitcoin, and they can get rid of these dirty bills or whatever the situation in exchange. Now, I don't know, you know, and so that's I don't think they were doing it to invest to hold long term. Maybe some of them got accidentally way rich, but imagine, then they would send the Bitcoin to whoever they need to send their money to, and that guy would get the Bitcoin, and either he was a smart guy and he held it, or he sold it right away. And probably the latter would be the more common thing that Bitcoin was used for. But by putting millions of dollars of crime in liquidity through a system, what they did was they gave it life. Because now you're the bozo who bought some, from some guy in New York in some shop in 2010, and you check your account one day and millions of dollars of money from all kinds of various sources is now in this liquidity pool, getting ready to be sent, being held, or getting ready to be converted into various other crypto, which ultimately shares liquidity pools the moment it's converted. It then um, just grows and grows, and this becomes the future of what the US dollar is. It had a history where it was backed by states, state banks. These state banks in America were very different than the laws and regulations of Eastern Europe and Western Europe and Africa at these various times. But this is why we can live in an ecosystem with multiple chains, multiple cryptos, because we've always lived in an ecosystem full of thousands uh, of currencies at one given time throughout all of humanity.
yeah. The whole $1 currency, like at least in the United States, is all very new. Like the last 50 to 80 years, I would say. No, 100 years, call it, right? I mean, as far as
We've always had currency, but the current state debate, the moment we came off the gold standard and the moment we came off the silver standard, are those two things to a hand together, hand in hand. The moment we solely went to a fiat based money, which is not backed by anything other than itself, and the promissory note of that they will pay it back. The moment all that happened was the moment we that the atom bomb starts ticking for explosion, to eventually our either we, our children, or our children's children's, depending on how far you can push this, will, it's not going to go that far. We're definitely going to witness the end of the fiat dollar as we know it in our lifetime. I know, no doubt. But also,
do you think
ignorance
we'll
is
eventually
bliss.
see as fiat dies and if we're not on the gold standard, do you think that we will eventually see coins, say like a waterworks coin, being linked to hard physical tangible assets like um, food rations or water rations or
Yes.
access
Imagine
to.
everything being able to be digitized and controlled and shared. So, imagine everything that is valuable that can be sent far away or sent close by or exchanged, being able to, in some way, shape, or form, have an exchange rate. But at what point is it necessary? Because the reality is, we will only move over into things that are more convenient and less expensive. That's who wins, always. Why did Robinhood, as this giant Ponzi scheme, grow from nothing to a massive IPO? Um, it's crazy, right? In such a short period of time. So
Wow. Cheaper and more convenient. It's true. That's what rules.
talk about how to save the world.
So what about the flip side of that? So I hear a lot of positive, but at the beginning we talked about saving the world, and you had kind of mentioned that. Um, what's worst case scenario? Like, are there any downsides to this? Like, how is it possible for crypto to be used against us, or get us right back in the same situation, or get us into an even worse predicament than we're already
Can I tell
in?
you the worst case scenario, dude? I love that you asked that.
Yeah, I'd love to know
Um,
because it
Let me
seems.
tell you the worst case scenario. Like, just look up. Um, well, worst case scenario was is partially why I never got into crypto. My initial gut feeling at looking at Bitcoin and electronic money, especially from the things that I knew that were going to be tried to be put out before us in our lifetimes. One of the big things I didn't like was it seemed like at first, I didn't understand the technology. It seemed like at first you could easily just control and manipulate anything by electronic money. And without obviously a conception of the blockchain and how it works. Um, but we can never underestimate it being lied to. So even Bitcoin,
Or not being lied to, but
Satoshi,
advancements. What about quantum computing or whatever weird advancements we come out in the future? What if they're able to crack the blockchain instantly instead
well,
of.
yeah, but you got to imagine if there's quantum computing, then there's quantum protection at the same time.
True.
And also, um, quantum computing can do a lot of things, but I mean,
That was just an example. I know quantum
no, it's
computing
good.
can't.
That's a side tangent. That's like a whole other thing. I would like to even get at like what is quantum first,
Oh,
computing,
yeah.
and like really diving in because I think it's not as scary as we allow it to seem.
There was a report actually that I read on
Because
Richard
the ledger
Hart's.
is validated by so many networks that
Well, I read on Richard Hart's website, he posted a link to.
go back to you.
He posted a link to a white paper from a bunch of the leading physicists and stuff like that, cryptographers out of all the universities from like Shanghai, China, New York University, and a bunch of them came together, quantum computing people, and said that there is no threat to Bitcoin from quantum computing in the near future because it's still just such an incredible cryptographic form. The 256 hash or whatever is just, it's almost impossible to break. And even with quantum computing, they're not finding it easy to break. So they don't see that quantum computing is going to be a threat to Bitcoin or most cryptos anytime soon, is what I read. And we'll have to pull that up on the next one. Next time, remind me, I'll have valid sources. We don't fact check around here, but we do make sure that we follow up on our own sources. So, remind me about that next time for sure.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait till we get like super clean, legit, and we can have some, cool graphics going for you while we're talking. And have some green screen even. That would be fun. But
Dude, we're just beginning. This is just the beginning. We
yeah,
gotta have
this is
some
great.
fun with this shit.
Can I say one thing?
You can say a
We're gonna
million
we're gonna
things.
just gonna
Say a
tickle your
million
guys'
things. A
ears real
million.
quick. I'm gonna tickle your thoughts. I want you to imagine that with this concept that we vote with our dollar, that you can change the world. You can change the world for $1. This was my idea. This was my revelation. As a person who, our company and what we want to innovate and do is end world thirst. So, specifically, getting clean drinking water to people who need it. There are many things I would like to talk about that I cannot reveal right now. But ultimately, how does this tie into the blockchain? It's incredible. You can self police a well created as a 501c3 not for profit company. We put a well in a place that needs a well very bad. But how do you police the well? How do you stop a drug lord from holding an AK 47 in front of the well and controlling who gets the water and what they do with it? How do you control how much water people can use from the well? How do you make sure everyone gets enough? The blockchain. So for $1, you can save the world with us. Your $1 is tax deductible unless you choose to sacrifice the $1 in the name of free speech and religious freedom and the belief that all people are created equal and everyone deserves clean and free drinking water, no matter what color their skin, no matter their age, no matter their disabilities, and no matter where they live in the world. It's an innate human right. As Americans, we're very, libertarian in thought. And so, of course, it's attractive for us to think that all humans, deserve clean and free drinking water. Free. How is it free? Nothing's free. We talked about that earlier. Nothing's actually free unless you use free coin, which if you got into early on our free coin, you would now get all of your gas fees covered for free. Nonetheless, I diverge from the master plan. Waterworks will be an amazing organization. You will be able to send us $1. With your $1, we will put it to work and end world thirst.
We have donors calling in right now, everybody. Donors are calling in right now to give us their dollars. Literally, as we're speaking about it, they're calling. Jaden's taking their money, and we're instantly turning around, and we're filling cups, everybody. That's what's going on here. Right?
Right. But I won't be taking anyone's money. I will be open walleting, sharing a very transparent financial path to ending world thirst. I realized at 18 years old that I could end the world hunger and world water issue with the budget of the military very quickly. But then it's bigger than that. You realize just with the budget of NASA, we could do that. But then it's even bigger than that. It's like, if only they wouldn't deflate our money, if only they wouldn't print money, but if only they wouldn't create genocide and wars. If only, if only, if only, if only. Well, now is our time. We have the technology, which is innovation, which is more affordable if we vote in the right way with it. And we can take the money out of the Rothschilds by, I love gold and silver. I'm a gold and silver bug. And I love crypto too. Like, whoa, no one says that. Literally, if we just talked about like gold, silver, and crypto, it'd be like everyone would be confused and be like, wait, you like all three? Yeah, platinum. Okay. No, there are a few guys that talk
Rhodesium.
about it. Rhodium. So yeah, I definitely am excited to talk crypto wars with you more. And
I think we'll probably make it a section, right? Like, we don't plan to just talk crypto here, like I said in the beginning.
yes,
We
exactly.
plan to go over all things in life that we're interested in because, first and foremost, we're real people. So we're going to talk about whatever it is that we're on that day. If we're on some other crazy bullshit, that's where we're going to be on that day. And you're going to come along for the ride and you're probably going to enjoy it. And if you don't, you're going to let us know and we're at least going to talk about it. But we really want to make sure that we continue to bring you guys informative content. This is our first one. We've been talking for 58 minutes and 32 seconds about nothing. This is our first trial, and hopefully we got off some really great information, some nuggets that you can pluck here and there. It wasn't really cohesive, I'm sure, but we're only going to get better. And we plan on continuing to try to focus our time and energy in bringing you guys better content, bringing you more information to help you make better decisions, to navigate your lives, to prepare for the things that are coming, to be ahead and on top and come out on the other side when the smoke settles. And as we navigate and find that information for ourselves, we want to continue to bring it to you. I think that's right. Is there anything that I missed, Senior Jaden?
I was muted yet again. Sorry about that. Having a good time over here. And I think that we're going to end the stream at about 1 hour when we get there. I think that's a good place to start. 1 hour streams, get as much out as we can. And as much as we are hopefully providing you value and good information, I'm sorry to say that all of the ideas there mentioned are not to be, stolen and used. But if you are interested in any of these ideas and you would like to collaborate or you have value to bring in some way, shape, or form, we would love to have you and talk to you and hear about what you have to bring to the table.
We'll probably set
Right.
up a Discord eventually, or
Yeah,
some kind of
Discord's
community that we can all connect on and chat.
Discord's coming, dude. We have it. I think that this can be whatever we would like it to be, but nonetheless, crypto is a hot topic right now that we're both into. You're a crypto miner, I'm a crypto trader. I think it makes sense that we talk about the space a little bit now because now more than ever, people are hungry and ready to learn. And I would like to sway you to vote with your crypto dollars for the future that is best for us all. Not a future of blockchain enslavement, but a future where we enslave the rich and the powerful and the corrupt to the will of the people.
Wow, beautifully said. Well done. Great conversations, great chats. Great. Hey, he was here the whole time. We tricked you. I got him.
Gotcha.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We had a blast, and we can't wait to see you again. We haven't worked out our schedule yet, so I can't tell you that.
Join us next Wednesday.
But join us next
Sunday.
Join us next Wednesday.
Sunday
Sunday night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. See, we don't know what we're doing, but we'll see you there.
Nights and Wednesday. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Oh,
We'll see you
tomorrow's
tomorrow
Sunday.
night.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless something happens, we'll see you tomorrow night.
We'll see it. We're gonna try it remote.
Yeah.
Jaden's gonna be at his home tomorrow. I'm gonna be at mine, and
That's
then
on Sunday night.
we're eventually gonna do some YouTube videos.
I like Sunday night because a lot of news happens Sunday nights.
I like that, and that's usually.
But we need to have both screens on at the same time. Can we figure that out before we go?
Oh yeah. Right now?
We could do it right now, just so they can see both screens at the same time. Make sure
Oh,
it's
yeah.
live and it's good. And then when we talk, both at the same time. I need to buy one of these mics, dude. This mic is sick. You should talk on this mic from now on. Well, you have those headsets. That solves the problem. I think I have a headset I can talk on. But I do like talking on the mic better. It sounds pretty sick. I could be singing. That's great. Dude, we should have been talking like this the whole time. This looks way professional, dude. Wow. But how do I get my cam to look cool like yours?
See, that's what I can't seem to. I need this to be.
There was one topic I did want to talk about before we go to
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin's up today. And something we did a stream earlier that Elliot deleted, and something I said in it that I remembered that I think is important is that if you're up right now, like really high up in your investment, take a little bit off the table, man. Move it into a stable coin, preferably USDC or something safe. And when you do that, just wait for the next dip, because the next dip isn't if, but when. And am I telling this to myself? Like, I don't know. I might just be myself in the future. But I don't
Buy the
have a lot.
dip.
Yeah. Buy the dips, guys. Like dollar cost averaging can go a long way. That's buying in increments. Like no matter what, I'm gonna buy $5 a day. And I just buy every day at the best time where it's low on that day. $5 a day. Because every day has its low. There's a point in every day when Bitcoin's red for a second. And that's when you buy it, you get in the habit of that.
But probably don't buy Doge.
You can buy whatever you want. I would love to have bought in Doge very cheap. I did. I bought it super cheap. I just didn't buy enough. Everyone bought Doge cheap, but we never bought enough. That's the thing. No one took it serious enough, and no one thought that a billionaire would just drop $1 billion in there. But that's what the kind of thing I was talking about earlier with the crime syndicates. Now we're at a different phase in crypto. It's not crime syndicates that are pumping the price. Like maybe some very private blockchains are predominantly crime because they are so private. And that's the right of those blockchains to do that. That's the purpose. See, here's the cool thing in the future. We have a one world digital currency, but ultimately, most of us will be using rebel currencies. We're all going to be a bunch of crypto punks. And some of us use Bitcoin. Some of us are going to be using Ethereum. Some of us are going to be using Cardano. Some of us are going to be using XRP. Some of us are going to be using all of them. Some of us are going to be using USDT, and that's it, or USDC. They're going to be only using stablecoins. And then probably some new things will arise that they talk and do other weird, different things. And now when you buy a car and when you buy a product and everything is like this giant data harnessing system. And that's where we are, where it's a double-edged sword. So one thing I didn't get to mention that I'd like to mention with one of your questions earlier about where do we see it going? What's the worst that can happen? Here's the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is that they require us to put a computer chip in our brain or in our head, just like they're trying to require us to put the thing in our bodies right now. The worst that can happen is they try to require us to put money, digital asset, wallet trackers in our hand. And then that's what's funny. That's where I'm like, I've been, invested in crypto for years. So the moment the entire world is going to be forced to go into crypto is the moment I'm cashing out of crypto. Right? I will literally. Yeah. Well, no, it's just like that's how you play either side of the double-edged sword scenario. It's like if crypto saves humanity and keeps us accountable, boom. On the flip side, if crypto enslaves humanity and tries to keep us trapped, the good news about that is on that day, the price of Bitcoin will be higher than you could have ever imagined. Because it's going to be so sexy when the one world government's like, everything, you digitize your home and you will have the crypto. You digitize your food and you will have, like
Digitize your whole.
everything, your cars, all of this, everything is on the digital wallet. It's all information now. How much you bought the car for, how much you saw. So now in the future, every used car in your little eye scanner comes up with a database, and you can see all the wallet transactions for that car, if they even use cars then. But essentially, you'll never be scammed if crypto, like, I mean, the problem is that's a scam to like require a computer chip in your body. So I'm not for that. That's the moment I just get on a sailboat and I go far, far away.
That's where
and
we
live
get
out
in
the
with
rest of my
mixing,
life.
yeah, humanity
I
and the
get on a
digital.
sailboat and I go far, far away and I live out the rest of my life. That's at that point. But before then, we're riding this roller coaster, and this roller coaster is going to have its ups and downs, but we're about to set records, dude. It's going to be crazy. So and I'd like to really seriously, I mean, these guys are spending millions of dollars on NFTs. All I'm asking for is $1 to change the world. All I'm asking for is $1 to save the world and end world thirst. Thank you very much. I think we'll end the stream there. Save the world, $1. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Jaden. I agree.
Thank you.
See you next
Dr.
time.
Ellison.
Both of us will. See you next time.
On Crypto Wars.
Peace.
That would be cool.